Hey everybody. I wanted to take a few moments to talk about something that we encounter quite a bit, which is my friend is going to build my website, or my brother-in-law, or my son or daughter that just came out of high school, somebody who's studying web design. They're going to build my website. They're going to build my organization that's trying to generate money, or my business is trying to make sales. They're going to generate my international presence, even though they're just the person down the street or son or daughter coming out of high school. This is an important thing to me, but we're going to give it to literally the lowest person we can in the totem pole to be responsible for. Doesn't really sound good when you put it that way, does it? And we hear this all the time. We hear the mistake. In this industry, anybody who has a computer, a laptop, and has a subscription to Adobe's Creative Suite can call themselves a web designer. There are many cases where we talk to people who claim that they're web designers, and just to find out that they build one or two websites on some web builder. And that's a disappointment to us, because we've invested so much time and effort in building sites. We've built over almost 9,000 sites in the last 15 years. And we've seen the industry grow, change. I come from a background of doing custom websites and web development and programming. So when I hear and when I see this mistake being made, it's one of those where you kind of do the slow motion, no, because you know where it's all headed. You know it's either going to result in a bad website, or it's going to result in the wrong technologies used, because the person who's doing the favor is going to use whatever they can to look like a superhero. But at the end, you're sacrificing a number of things. Number one, you sacrifice the fact that you might be using the wrong technology for your organization. You sacrifice that expertise that we have to really tell you what you need and to implement those things for you, or to pull together the pieces that you need. You also lose the stability of having someone who's going to be there after the fact. So there's many times where we have people who build a website for an organization or a business, and then 3 months later they're gone. And now when someone else looks in there, they look at everything and they say, oh, this is all wrong, this is terrible, what happened? And many times the business owner who isn't web savvy, you don't know anything about design, and you don't know anything about the web, you thought it looked great, but somebody else comes along and says, this looks terrible, it needs to be redone. And so now you go through this process all over again, maybe sometimes paying, maybe somebody else will do it for free for you. But then that person in 3 to 6 months is gone, maybe a year is gone, now you're stuck again, and you go through this process over and over again. And some of you know what I'm talking about. You've redesigned your websites like 10 times. You've gone from one platform to another. Every time you think you got it down, that person leaves, or someone else comes in and tells you you're doing it wrong. Or maybe you're getting a lot of those emails coming in that you're not found on the search engines, even though you know full well you are. But at any rate, the stability of having someone who knows what they're doing is really important if you're serious about if you're not serious about your organization, you're not serious about your business, it's a whole nother matter. If this just thing's a hobby, if this business you've got on that supposedly is your main thing, or maybe it's your side thing, but you want it to become your main thing, if that's just a hobby, then don't worry about what I'm saying here. But I'll tell you, even with my hobbies, I make sure that professionals are doing the work. Why? Because I know that anything worth doing is worth doing right. And so when you get your brother-in-law, and I had one person tell me, their brother-in-law was going to do a website for $100 and a beer. Now, I don't know how many of you want an alcohol-induced website, but I know that I don't want it, and I don't want it for my clients either. So, I really think it's very important as you build your website to know that there's a few dynamics in this whole situation of having someone who's not a professional, or maybe claims they're a professional, but then when you vet them further, they really haven't done a whole lot, versus a company, a firm like ours, who's actually taken the time to serve customers. We know the mistakes that are made. We know that 15 years after we build our customer sites, we're still here, and our team is available to help. And if somebody here gets replaced, they get replaced with somebody who's trained and able to help you as if it were the person who was here. So I think that there's a lot of value in using a team like ours in light of, or instead of having your initiative led by a volunteer or a well-meaning employee who may or may not be gone later. Now, I'll even say this. There's some organizational leaders that have said, Not the brother-in-law down the street, not the son or daughter coming out of high school, but some of you yourselves have actually said, I'm going to design the website. And you're not designers. Maybe you do know something about marketing. Maybe you do even know something about design. There are many of you that do. But there is a distinct difference between having a team and a firm that's focused on your website while you're working in your business, rather than you focus on your business and also having to focus on this part of it, your website. And it takes you away, it detracts from it. And quite honestly, you don't know what kind of lost opportunity is in there. You don't know what you're missing because you're choosing to do it all. And something is menial. It's not as menial in terms of the effort, but compared to your overall business goals, it is a detail that you don't have to be that you really shouldn't be doing and you shouldn't be in charge of. In many cases, an objective look at your brand and an objective look at your presentation will result in a better representation of what you're doing than if you just kind of throw everything together, throw it up on the internet, and see what happens. Again, anything worth doing is worth doing right, and anything worth doing is worth focusing on getting it right. I really encourage you that even if you're the business owner and you want to do it yourself, or maybe even if you have a volunteer or a donor or a customer that says, well, we'll do it for you for free, or we'll do it for you for just an exchange of something, remember that after the site's designed, it still has to be maintained. It still has to be promoted. You still need someone who's going to be there to help you along the way for years, not for days, not for weeks, not for months, but for years. I encourage you to do business with us. Whatever Facebook page this is on, whatever site this is on, I want you to call the number if you want our help. And let us know. Let us know that you need us, whether it's building the website, whether it's maintaining your existing site, or moving your site over to better infrastructure. We're here to help. But don't buy into, my brother will do it for $100 and a beer, because that's not a site worth doing. That's not an effort that's going to grow your business or your organization. Our interest is in your growth, and we hope that you'll allow us to do that. Have a great day.